Welcome back to The Cure, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about Miley Cyrus's brand new album titled She Is Coming. Now, Miley Cyrus has really had an epic ride throughout her musical career, and she's definitely gone through a lot of different phases. She had her Disney phase, she had her rebellious phase, and I think now she's living a very respectful hybrid of those two lives. We see influences from her past, from her maturing, from her very country background, and we still see a lot of evidence of that rebellion too, and her kind of coming into her own. This album is short, it's only 6 songs, but I think they're all really great. So the conciseness in this album really makes you appreciate all 6 of the songs. There's definitely no throwaways, and I'm really excited to see a lot of different musical influences, musical styles, and some traditional strategies mixed with very new ideas and things that work for Miley. So let's get into it. The first track is a really powerful opener. It is a pretty surprising kind of synthy pop song, very collected start for Miley, but a very strong instrumental beat on here. And this kind of exposes the very first taste of this multi-genre, multi-influence album. We get a little bit of pop, a little bit of a trappy feel, and then that nice like kind of southern lull in Miley's voice that comes out every once in a while, so you can never fully escape that country sound, and I really like that too, and it comes out in more of its fuller form in other songs on this album. This is a great headliner for the album. It's loud, it's upbeat, it's super catchy. All the hooks on this thing are extremely well written. I don't know if Miley is responsible for all of the writing on this, but to whoever is responsible, it's all very well done. And the hooks especially, they're all very catchy. It's very easy to get these kinds of songs stuck in your head, and they're really not half bad either. They're not that traditional, and there's a lot of cool synthy pop sounds on this track. And Miley's always pretty rebellious and creative, and reaching new limits with her lyrical ability and what she can stretch, and that's always interesting to hear as well. So you're going to hear crazy things here and there across this whole album. After Mother's Daughter, which is a pretty great opener, we have Unholy, which is similar in some ways, a little bit slower, still a real nice catchy hook and some well-written verses. The difference is kind of in the beat and the speed of the song. The beat is still very synthy, a lot of experimental sounds, a little bit more 8-bit, a little bit more minimal. Next we have DREAM, which spells dream but stands for drugs rule everything around me. A very drug-influenced song, obviously here, and it's really crazy. It has a pretty nice, again, very synthy string pop beat on it, more of a trappy drum track on it, and a very creative instrumental overall. Also a lot of great, really nice ambient sounds on here. Miley's part is a little bit slower throughout. We do have a very random feature from Ghostface Killah at the end. It's a beat switch. It's not even really the same song, but his verse is very much focusing on drug use and things like that. So not a half bad verse from him. It doesn't necessarily fit, but an interesting feature nonetheless. But the hook is once again very catchy. It pretty much just spells out what DREAM stands for, and another very strong, poppy, trappy country track from Miley. And this song is also still pretty decently short, even including that feature. So none of these are too played out. You get the right amount of music per song before you hear a new one, and I like the ratio that she's working with here. It's a very concise playthrough on this thing. Next is Catitude featuring RuPaul. This song is totally crazy. Honestly, the feature from RuPaul is not half bad. He actually takes the lead on this song and has a verse as well, and does a pretty good job at it. I really like. It's the perfect song for him, first of all, but secondly, it really fits in with the vibe of this song. We have a very loud, obnoxious, very theatrical drum running throughout this track, and him and Miley actually barred pretty well. I was impressed to hear it. Some really cool industrial sounds all over this beat. This song seriously sounds like an anthem, and the lyrics are absolutely praising something. So a very interesting song without a doubt, and I really like it, honestly. A very interesting change of pace, and it seriously stands out on this album. There are some other songs that take from one another, but this one's really different, and I like it a lot. It's very Madonna-esque, you know, very flaunting, and it's pretty sweet. Next up is our third and final feature. This song, Party Up the Street, is produced by Mike Will Made It and has Sway Lee on it. This track, again, very diverse, has a little bit more of a slow, tropical, mellow vibe on it. And Sway is so diverse with his singing and rapping ability. He can sound very different in a lot of different styles, and he fits in on this thing very well. This is something that absolutely could have popped up on Swaycation or Ray Sherman's last album. It's kind of tropical, it's relaxing, and it's perfect for Sway Lee. Sway and Miley also sing very well together on this. They have voices that can really reach a very similar pitch and a very similar sound, so they harmonize very well. They feed off of each other's verses very well. And this is another really creative song with a worthwhile feature. I think she let the feature really drive the song, along with the track with RuPaul, and it shows. The song certainly fits both of the artists involved. And lastly is a song called The Most. I've been preaching about typical finishers lately, but even though this is the slowest, saddest, best song for the ending of this album, and it is traditional, I think it's really, really perfect. It's just the type of thing we might have missed listening to the rest of these songs on this album. The 5 tracks prior had a little taste at a country or southern vibe, and we didn't really hear it in its full glory until this song, this beautifully well-written closer. It is certainly the most lyrically emphasizing song on the album. It's an incredible love song, that still has a real nice instrumental track to it with a beautiful guitar. An instrumental that really relies on a lot of ambient sounds as well. But like all the other songs on this album, it has another really fantastic hook. This track especially features a lot of vocal range from her, and other songs in the album, she can do a lot of other different things with her voice. So I'm very impressed with all the different singing styles she uses across this album. This is an incredible way to close it out, and we really get a taste of every version of Miley with this being the finisher, and this album is a really perfect length, enough to make you want more, and sometimes I think that's how it should be. But overall, I think this was a really great little project from Miley Cyrus. I think it is the perfect mix of all these other musical phases she's gone through over her life. She's obviously in a better place now than maybe she has been previously over the last few years. And that kind of shows in her music too. This album is powerful, it's confident, but it's still very collected. And there's lots of nice experimentation on here too. The features are certainly not wasted. I think the Ghostface Killah feature is kind of random, doesn't necessarily fit into the song, but the other 2 especially are really great. And then the other 3 featureless songs are not half bad either. I especially like the closer the most, even though it's a little more traditional country Miley Cyrus. I don't think we get that as much as maybe we used to. So these are 6 really great tracks. There's definitely no throwouts here. None of them are even very similar except for maybe the first 2. But it's a really great ride, and I'm looking forward to hearing more from Miley in the future. Her dad's on the rise too. I mean, Old Town Road. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate your support. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content. There's going to be a lot of music coming out this summer, and I'm excited to talk about as much of it as I can. So keep tuning in for more, and I will see you guys on the next one.